Happy St. Patty's Day. I look silly. These kind of eat though.
You bad trick, you bad trick, you bad trick, you bad trick.
This good?
Ooh, maybe I want it in the other ear. Camera turned on, and yep, the nerves. There it goes. There goes the heart. It's palpitating. Okay, okay, okay. You got this. You got this. You bad trick. You bad trick. You bad trick. You bad trick. Okay, man. Okay, so yep. Now that I am back from hibernating, I had a wonderful winter. It is time for spring to get going. It's St. Patty's Day. And I'm like, okay, Curry, we're going to do something different. We are going to practice showing up so that we can get comfortable with YouTube because the way that I've been doing it before has not been working. So I was like, I'm very inspired by TikTokers. Like YouTube is like, since I've been making it like my passion project, I guess you would call it, I think I've been just like overthinking it and like, well, here's the thing. I think that the whole like just get started thing is definitely true. It kind of like reminds me of like when I started running and I just had to go outside and it was just like so scary. It was like first off just like knowing where to go and just running outside and it's just like you just kind of have this feeling like somebody's watching you, nobody's there, and it's just like getting over the initial nerves, but and then eventually you just like get the hang of it, especially if you just make it a habit, just like I'm just going to get out there, it doesn't matter how many miles, I'm just going to get outside, and then you just kind of build little by little. And the same goes with makeup. When I wanted to get better at makeup, I just like dedicated to where I'm going to do it every day no matter what and things like that. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be showing up every day and things like that. And I honestly didn't even want to make it a declaration, but sometimes you just got to speak it out. But I want to show up more often. I know how often I want to show up, but I don't want to speak it because I know that life happens and I don't like, it's like every time you speak every time I've noticed that I say something, then something happens and then it just can't be. But I know in my head what I want to do and I'm lenient with myself. So that's that. So we're going to go with that. But yeah, I just have to get more comfortable with the camera, but I'm not going to get comfortable with the camera if I don't loosen that threshold. Like I feel like the longer that I wait in between posts, because of my perfectionistic ways, I just feel like I overthink the whole thing. And I feel like that's the reason why I like TikTok lives and stuff like that. They just show up and I just get excited because you're always going to have a post, you're always going to have that thing, and it's just this parasocial relationship and I'm just like here for it. And you don't think about their niche. You don't think about, I mean, of course they have their thing that they do, but it's like you're just really just showing up for them, and it's just like, I don't know, you just feel like you're friends or whatever. And it's just like, I need to create that kind of space for myself here, or I'm just always going to have like these projects and it's just going to, and I'm going to constantly be in my head. And I'm just like, I got to get out of my head because at the end of the day, I'm stopping myself from posting. I mean, I feel like the way that YouTube is now, it's so nichey and like people don't just post to post. And there are like new YouTubers that are doing it, but I feel like the environment isn't like that anymore. I feel like YouTube is the new TV now. So it's like high production, like it's pretty much now it's just like, everybody have these production teams like I feel like I feel like it's like society now. I feel like it's like you have the people at the top and everything, like what's expected. You have an expectation now. And while a small YouTubers can come at the bottom, it's just like this expectation of high production, having a team and things like that. And I just feel like, especially with all the research, because I was like, okay, Curry, I need to figure out like what am I getting into? What is my goal? Because I felt like I was chasing something and I was just very overwhelmed. So I just took the time out to like get to know the industry and everything like that. And I was just like, you climb the ladder. It's like what happens when you get those numbers? What happens when like you reach this point that you think that you're going to reach? What do you want? Like what are you expecting? And then it's like, do you really want the thing that you think that you want? It's like you want the numbers, you want that, but then you're not showing up. And it's like, yes, you're putting the quality in and you're putting, like you actually are trying, but then the algorithm doesn't really push because nobody knows you like that and things like that. So it's like, I'm not going to stop creating and putting my best foot forward because I actually like the fine little details and stuff that actually makes me excited. But at the same time, those extra details and things like that take time. So it's like I need to find ways to show up in between so that I'm not being hard on myself when I'm like, oh crap, I need to like do something funny or something like that. And then it's just like, I don't really care much about that. Or it's just like, just doing more, I guess, like showing up more, like creating a space where you just have that kind of like 9 to 5 kind of feel where it's like you have to show up, so that I feel like the showing up will like inspire me, because it's like I look at it as like eating the frog. So it's just like I need to get better at YouTube, but it's like, yes, editing is a thing and stuff like that. And that's the thing too, because I have so many different niches and stuff like this, that on this channel, I feel like I was overwhelming myself. But then I realized it's like, if you just stick with what your plan is. And that was the thing too. Like, I had to realize that I actually need to organize myself. Like, you actually need to be organized and kind of like know what you want to do. Like I found that, like for me, especially when I first started, I was like, I know it just makes sense for me to be like a makeup channel or something like that, but I'm just like, they always said, I remember what I used to watch Young Nails all the time, and I got a lot of like business advice and things like that on the side from that, because I don't know, I love everything artistic and things like that. But anyways, like it it's just so much different, like when something goes from your hobby to being a profession. And this isn't necessarily a profession in a way I'm not getting paid from it, but eventually hopefully I will. So it's just like making it a thing, kind of like, I feel like that's the thing that I'll constantly talk about and grapple with. Banks talked about it in a interview. I can't think of his name right now, but how it's just like when you're making art, that like when you're making art, or like when she was writing the music, it's different when she was just doing it for herself, and it's just like your own personal diary, so the music just flows out. And then when you're in a good place, you might not do anything for years, but it's like you can't do that with YouTube, especially if you like want to grow and things like that. You can't like just stay in a creative flow. Well, you can, but it's just like, I feel like like she said, it's like they're polar opposites. Like business and like creativity, it's like oil and water, and that's something that I'm noticing. And it's just like, if I don't plan, then it won't get done. But then I can plan all day and then I don't do. And then even when I do, that was the thing too. Even I found even when I do, then it's just like, it's too much. Like, I realize that I mean, it requires more production. It's like when I'm doing the makeup and stuff like that, then it's like, you know, I have my, I have to have the right lighting, and because my, I'm right in front of the window, and then I have these like, I have warm lighting and like warm paint on the walls. So I'm just like, and then it just depends on like if it's gloomy or whatever. So it's just like a lot to think about, especially like beginning, and it can just be very overwhelming, and then it can just feel like it's consuming your life. Like it's like, I feel like I've said before, it just feels like I imagine a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that I understand, but like if like having a kid, like when you first having this, like you're grieving your old life. I can just kind of imagine that. And it's like, okay, I need to find a way to actually make this incorporate where I don't feel burnt out, but at the same time I feel like I'm in my own little world. And that's the thing too. I just realized, like, I just gotta look at it as like I'm in my own world at the end of the day, because especially like with the search system now, it's not it's a discovery based thing. I can type in vlog, and I'm like literally looking up vloggers, just trying to find somebody new, and it's just like it's the same thing. And then it's like, um recommend you this, and it's like I really want to find people, and it's like if you don't know people's names, then you're not going to find them. So I'm just like, okay, if I don't show up, then I'm not going to be in the algorithm. I just have to get in the algorithm and just like show up, and then allow myself to get more comfortable. And the more comfortable I get, and allow myself to get inspired, and allow myself to fail, because I feel like constantly just like scrapping ideas, and just like, because also a part of like what I do is like can be very seasonal, and then it's just like it passes by, and then just like the state of the world and things, and it's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, and it's just like irritating. It's like the whole thing becomes very overwhelming. So it's like I don't want to sit here in a little corner and just sulk and not do anything about it. I just want to actually show up, because the thing is, I can at least do that. I mean, all I have to do, I mean, I literally could just record, like do a little preparation, and just have something to where I can just show up while I'm doing like my little projects in between, I guess. So, yeah. So yeah, that this has been like all over the place, but yeah, I think today is just all about eating the frog and continuing to practice getting in front of the camera, editing simple things, and posting in between, so that I can make sure that I'm getting comfortable with the camera and not thinking so hard, so that I can finally just be like excited because I've showed up. And I think that's going to be the main thing. Because I showed up, that's all that matters. But yeah. Yeah, but yep, that's that. I had more things I was going to talk about, but I feel like it's just better just to yap and talk and not make it such a big deal, because at the end of the day, I have more talks, and the more comfortable I get, the more I maybe can like think straight and things like that. So, yes, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, there will be signs.
I thought this was gonna be so funny, and I look silly. It's funny though. Happy St. Patty's Day. I look silly. These kind of eat though. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Getting started to use it